Welcome back, Bandecfolks. You're tuned into another episode here on the Bandecdotes channel. I'm your host, Phil.
It's me, Tyler.
And we're here with Andrew Joe Stevens. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
Good. So for viewers who may or may not know, you're in a couple projects. You're in Drives the Common Man, which is your solo project.
Yeah.
You're in Midwestmount, which quickly became one of my favorites of the oh god. There, I'm not even gonna adjust it. I'm just gonna adjust. Quickly became one of our favorites on the channel. And you're in Jock still, right? Just Jock still a band?
I don't know. I have no idea. I was talking about it with our singer not that long ago. I saw her at one of my band shows last weekend, and I was like, "Are we still a band?" Because we haven't really talked or done anything in a long time. But it's probably like the title fight thing, where we never said we broke up or we never said we're done. So maybe we'll just do a show again one day. But for right now, we're sort of on a break.
Well, I mean, everyone's doing their own thing. We've had Haley on the show before, and
Yeah.
I mean, Bob just put out a solo record. So, there's some. I've got to say, there's something in the water in London. There's so many good musicians coming out of there, and the fact that you guys are all in this you guys' other solo projects are so different, right?
Yeah.
What is Gleek? Haley's is Gleek, which is more of a beat kind of like a soul synth project.
Yeah.
And then your Drives the Common Man's. God damn it! It's the problem is I'm out in Dunville and there's no I'm out in the middle of nowhere. I'm in the sticks, so I have lag issues sometimes. I don't have a excuse for the dollar store cameraman. That's my fault. I'll jump back into it. Yeah, so you guys' solo projects is a lot different from Jock itself, which is interesting that you guys have that is the hardcore project of it all, and it's kind of just something you do on the side, because the stuff that you guys are doing now, Midwestmount, Drives Common Man, Gleek, and Bob. I think Bob just goes under his own name.
Yeah.
It's great, and I love how different sounding it is, and then if you know the lore, you're all in a hardcore band, which is just I don't know. I just think that's super cool.
Yeah, it is fun. It's funny to think about because I have a song with I produced a couple of the songs on Gleek's EP, and then I feature on one of the songs as well. And then it's funny to think that's Jock. But then we're playing these very poppy songs, and then we go and do Jock, and it's this youth crew kind of hardcore thing. So it's it's funny to think about, but yeah, it's cool to think of how different we all are.
And I've had the pleasure. We've played a show together at the Foam Dome, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So the Foam Dome, for those who don't know, I think I've mentioned it on the show before, but if I haven't, it's used to be. I don't think it is a thing anymore, but it was a house venue in London that really housed a lot of really cool bands, and a lot of cool shows would go down there. It's not, like I said, it's not a venue anymore, is it?
It's funny enough, I think there was a show there just last weekend. I was driving past it and I heard music. Maybe someone who lives at the Foam Dome now just plays music really loud, and that's what happened. But I thought I saw an Instagram story of the show being there, but I thought it was done too. I haven't been to a show at the Foam Dome in a couple of years, probably.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, house venues, they come and go, right? It's always just somebody's punk place that they're just renting out, and they want to have a party or something like that. But I mean, it is what it is. There's always good times and memories attached to that place.
And that's where Jock was born, actually. We started.
Really?
Yeah. So Bob and Drew from Jock lived there, so that's where we'd practice and stuff. So when we played shows, it just felt like we were playing a practice in front of 30 other people in this house.
And Drew produced all the music for Jock.
Yeah,
right?
Drew did Bust It and the other one, Messing with Damnation, I think it's called. Yeah, I still don't know our song names either, so it's a blessing that I know the EP names.
And that was done all in-house at the Foam Dome, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, we did a single at Drew's new place that ended up on a compilation. No, that was recorded at the Foam Dome too. So yeah, everything we've ever done is pretty much been at the Foam Dome, yeah.
DIY style, right?
DIY style. Yeah, we're all just too cheap.
And now, do you for your solo stuff for Drives the Common Man? Do you do all the stuff yourself? Just like, do you produce? You That's all you, eh?
Yeah, for like Night Vision and like the songs I had after that, it was all pretty much just done in like my apartment, like little second bedroom I have with like this I call it stew. But Annie, like my last single I put out, I recorded it at the Sugar Shack in London with Simon from there, who I've worked with since I was like 15 or something like that. But yeah, that was our first time doing something for my solo project, whereas before we were doing stuff with my other pop punk band, Youngest and Only.
Youngest only. So that's like the precursor to a lot of the stuff that you've done. I don't think
Yeah.
I've ever heard of this band.
Oh no, Youngest and Only's like that was my first thing I ever did. Was like we started that band when we were like 12 or 13, and then we just finished a run of shows this weekend actually. So that was me and Robert's band. Me and Robert, who's in Midwestmount, is also in Youngest and Only. And then COVID happened, and then we were like, oh, let's start an emo band. And then that's how Midwestmount's like Youngest and Only's like cooler younger brother, basically.
So the youngest and only isn't the youngest or the only one
No,
anymore.
not anymore. No, definitely not. We've come through a big universe of bands since.
So, so with that band, is that where you said you met Simon?
Yeah, like he recorded a band, Heart Attack Kids. When they were a two piece,
Yeah.
the two dudes used to play in a band called 8-Bit Ghost, and they recorded with Simon, and we are like, oh, it sounds sick. Let's go record with him. So we were like 15 at the time, I think. So we that was like our first time really like recording at a studio, and then we just like fell in love with Simon and just kept working with him after that.
I love that because like with Hellbent, our drummer Nick, he produces all our things, and I've grown such a fond attachment of recording with him. He's been like so many years of like he is the guy, and I'm that I go to whenever I'm trying to track vocals or anything. And it's
Yeah.
like once you find that person that you kind of like mesh well with, you really don't want to step outside of that comfort zone. We did with our last single with Sinner's Last Signal, which is obviously like fine. There was no like bad blood. Everyone
Yeah.
obviously understands that, like, we were kind of doing the if it ain't broke, don't fix it method.
Oh
But
yeah.
like we wanted to just try outside some other stuff, and it's great. It turned out great. But
Oh yeah.
yeah, no, I love recording with the guy,
The
right?
guy,
With
yeah,
the
yeah,
producer, yeah.
because it's like they know, like they like he, especially Simon, like I've started to do more Drives the Common Man stuff with him, and he's the only other person other than like a couple dudes I like write songs with within the bands that I'm in that I'm like I trust you wholeheartedly with what I'm doing. Like if I don't think it's great for some reason, I'm like it probably is great if Simon thinks it's great, and then I end up being like, oh, that is what should have been done to this song or whatever. You know what I mean? So it helps to have those people.
Yeah, and Drives the Common Man has like blossomed quite like you guys are like you're all over with a TikTok and Instagram. You have quite the like many eyes on the project, which I love to see.
Very weird, but yeah, it's a very COVID kind of thing, but yeah, it was weird.
That being said, it was very COVID. Like, is that why we haven't heard a new Drives the Common Man song in a while?
Um, honestly, like I've been working on a lot of stuff since like I think my last single was legit like last year, and I'm set to drop something else hopefully by the end of the year. But I just figured like I needed to like rebirth and figure out what I wanted to do with the project, and then Midwestmount and Youngest and Only and all the couple other projects that I just randomly do for fun have kind of been like teaching me how to like write music again. And so I've just did all that stuff to basically be able to like put it back into like Drives the Common Man stuff. So I'm like I just took time to try to like make stuff that I think is special and rad. And I took a little bit longer than usual, but I think it's good. I didn't want to just like pump out singles just for the sake of it. I wanted to like take time and really like what I was making. So I think there's stuff on the way soon. big
That's
things
great. And
coming,
there's
as
something.
those people in band say. I got big things coming, man.
And there's something to that because I've even said on the channel I'm a huge fan of when bands cover other local bands and stuff. Do like they do the switcheroo kind of thing. I
Yeah.
think it really expands your songwriting and being able to do all these other projects. You said you're a youngest and only, and what other projects are you in aside of on this youngest and only in Midwestmount?
So there's just dumb little ones that we don't even like put out. It's just like me and my friend have
Okay.
this like acoustic project called Sullivan. Like it's just called Sullivan, and we maybe have like half a song written for it. And then like I started doing like this kind of like hyper pop project with my other friend, and
Oh,
and then we
okay.
have like the obviously like Midwestmount, and then the youngest and only stuff. And I always make Jock demos every once in a while and send the and hope that maybe they'll be like, all right, let's get back to it. But everyone's just like, cool demo, and then we just don't talk about it. So I'm always doing something or trying to do something at least.
And so, what's the like you got to play like a really cool festival in Nova Scotia recently? Like, what's
Yeah.
the ties to the projects with Nova Scotia? Because I've also seen it like on YouTube channels.
Yeah. Are you talking about like the North American Indigenous Games? Because that
Yeah, I
was
think that's what it was. Yeah.
yeah. So I did like the opening for the North American Indigenous Games at the arena, like the Scotia Arena or something like that in Halifax, which was like pretty crazy. So I played like one song there, and then a couple days after that, I did like a full set at the outdoor kind of festival that they had in Halifax for the same event. So yeah, it was a crazy week. It was like super fun, and that's like kind of near where my family's all from too. So like I saw a lot of people that I knew, and it's like cool that there's people out there that like know me and stuff. Like I was like me and my friends Simon and Chris were like scootering around on these electric scooters in Halifax, and my scooter died, and some dude with his girlfriend like walks past us, and he looks at me, he's like, he drives, and I was like, yeah, dude, you want to give me a ride? Like my scooter's all dead and shit. But it was like the weirdest thing, but it was like so funny, but it was also embarrassing because it was like my scooter I was just like stuck at the side of the road with this dead ass scooter. So, but yeah,
So you're not
I
a
like Linese.
you're not originally from London.
It's so weird, dude. Every time someone asks me where I'm from, I'm like, I was born in Kamloops, British Columbia, but like
Okay.
my roots are from Nova Scotia. But I was like, but I've lived in Southern Ontario for a long time, so I'm like a coast to coast baby, I guess.
All over the place.
I'm all over the place, yeah. Canada,
When I
I'm
used
from
to have
Canada.
when I used to have satellite television, for whatever reason, there was something about the Kamloops local television channel that was just so there was something. There was commercials were super weird and funny. I would often watch the Kamloops. Like it was like the local channel, and honestly, there couldn't be much more entertainment coming out of it. It was so good.
That's good to know because I felt that way too, but I was like, maybe it's just everywhere. Everywhere is just like this, but yeah, no, TV in Kamloops is fun.
um so let's talk about Midwestmount because I love is it Are
Hmm.
You Still Confused? Is that's the record?
I think so. Yeah. Are you still confused, or are
Yeah.
you confused still? I don't know. It was one of
Are
them. I
You
think it was like
Confused?
the day we like wrote it into DistroKid. Where like me and Robert were sitting there in a Starbucks. We're like, what makes more sense? Are you confused still, or are you still confused? So we're like, whatever. Let's just pick one and make that it.
I think you
Yeah.
made the grammatically correct choice.
Yes. Thank God.
You did it.
That's one of my favorite projects that actually came out this year. It's on
It's
my one of
I
really
my
good.
appreciate
albums
you
of the
guys.
year.
All the love you guys showed for Midwestmount was like, we were like, no way, dude. Like, we thought we only put it out so that we didn't have to go into Google Drive to listen to the songs. So it's cool that people actually liked it. So
Yeah.
So then, like, if that was the case, how did you guys come around to do the music video? I know, like, you guys just like simply did, like, you did it. Like, I love the simplicity of the music video, where it's just like you guys having a bunch of fun. But like, was it
yeah.
after the fact that you guys were getting some traction, or?
Well, we dropped our first EP in like 2021, and like for whatever reason, I think I just talked about it way too much on like TikTok lives and stuff. So people from like the Drives the Common Man camp started liking Midwestmount, and then we got like a good amount of like streams and people like the songs, and we just started writing the Are You Still Confused? Are You Still Confused? Yeah. After that, and we're just like cool, and then before it dropped, we were like, well, we should make a music video, but let's just like do it with our iPhone. And I'm the director. I came up with everything from that video. I even edited it. But I was like, it'd be cool if it's like the car and we're all in different spots at some parts and we're just dancing. Like basically how the video is how I imagined it in my head. And it turned out pretty rad. I liked it.
Yeah.
So at the end of the video, we see the shot of the Midwestmount School or Westmount School. Sorry.
It was the mall.
It's a mall.
Westmount Mall, yeah.
Okay, so is that what the name is?
Yeah, like, well, no, because Westmount's the neighborhood that we all grew up in London. And so when we started the project, we were like, oh, let's make a Midwest emo band. And as a joke, I just made our group chat Midwestmount. And then when we were about to drop the EP, we were like, had all these horrendous names. And then I was like, oh, let's just call it Midwestmount. That's funny because everyone's like going to know that we're, I guess not everyone's going to know that we're referring to our neighborhood, but the people in our circles are going to know that we're referring to the neighborhood that we grew up in. It was funny. We laughed so hard.
Do you remember some of the horrendous names you had before that you were like potentially going to have?
I remember one was Defend Strongjaw, and I have no idea what that means at all, but Robert was like, dude, Defend Strongjaw sounds so sick. Like, it's got to be that. Or the one I liked was Simp Dino. Like, Simp Dino sounded cool. That was the closest one. It was like, if it was in Midwestmount, it would have been Simp Dino, but those are the only two that I can remember.
I like Midwestmount.
Yeah, I like Midwestmount too.
Now, is it just so? It's just you guys are a 3-piece. It's just the three of you.
Yeah, well, it started off like me and Robert from Youngest and Only, but through the whole beginning of the first EP, it was like very COVID times. So me and Ben, who's like the other singer, like the big fucking bearded dude, we were kind of in our same circle, but Robert was trying to like, he was like very much like, I'm going to stay at home. Like, I can't really do anything. So, like, me and Ben just kind of kept going, and we did the whole first EP with just us two and our friend Colton, who had a couple verses and just helped us write the first EP. And then Colton kind of fizzled out, and then Robert came back, and he hopped on, like, the very, like, last stages of the last EP we did. But, yeah, the general lineup of our band is like us three, and yeah.
So what was it like writing with Robert on this like new project without him? Like you said, like he came out on the tail end of the first one. Like this one, was
tail
like,
end of the second one.
Oh, sorry, the second one.
Yeah, but it was like me and Robert have like always been like super good like songwriting companions, but we've been like demoing more Midwestmount stuff, just me and him lately, and it's like totally normal. But sometimes we sit there, we're like, does it sound too much like Youngest and Only? And it's just like, kind of, but whatever, who cares? No one's gonna care. But we definitely try to like take from different influences when we're doing Midwestmount than when we're doing Youngest and Only.
I think you're allowed to rip off yourself.
Yeah, I was making a joke about that.
You get a pass.
Yeah. Because I think John Fogerty from CCR once got sued for making a song that sounded too much like a song he wrote for CCR on his solo project. So he was in court, like, fighting himself. And I was like, I want that to happen. I want Midwestmount to sue Youngest and Only, or Youngest and Only to sue Midwestmount.
It's a good music video.
Yeah, actually, it is pretty good.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. So the 3-piece, I have to imagine, it's like, it's very reminiscent of like Blink-182, and I know you're a huge fan of Blink-182.
Big time.
What'd you think about the new record that just came out?
I really like it. I think it's really good. I kept my hopes for it so low because I was like, it's gonna be bad. Like, there's no way it's gonna be good. So I gotta
that last one wasn't great.
Hot take, loved 9. I thought 9 was such a good album. Like me, I think me and Robert are the only people that we know that actually like that album. But I do think One More Time is better, like way better. But yeah, I really like the new album. I think it's cool to see them in like a production standpoint as where all the other like pop punk bands are at right now, with like the super fucking big, loud sampled drums and synthy parts and all that stuff. It's cool to see them be like still untouchable. Like even all those new pop punk bands, like still can't touch Blink. Like there'll never be a band that touches Blink.
Yeah, and Tyler, you brought it up today, and actually, I noticed it. Did you see that they re-released the record today?
I was right about to bring that up. I'm assuming I haven't looked at any coverage of it, but I'm assuming the mix was fixed because people were really complaining about that. Or apparently on like Apple Music, it sounded better than I don't know. I have a feeling the drums were probably turned down a bit.
Oh dang!
That was like the big complaint from like big like Pitchfork, I think, and stuff.
Yeah, fair enough.
But
yeah, I saw that on Reddit. Was a lot of people were upset. Like apparently, I didn't find that this was the case with the record. I actually felt the same way. Andrew, I actually thought it was a really good record. I thought it wasn't my favorite. It's not my favorite Blink record, but it is a good record from a band that's like that old and established and
exactly.
in the genre.
For if you're expecting the best Blink album, like to come out,
this is how I felt about the Metallica album when it came out. I was like, this is fine. Like, what's the problem? Like, what the fuck were you guys expecting? Fucking like Ride the Lightning or like Master of Puppets again? Like they're fucking 70 or something insane. Like,
you gotta just keep your hopes really low for like your favorite bands. Like I try to do that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's like someone's great grandpa's metal band. That's pretty good.
Yeah. I didn't like 9. And actually, I liked California. A lot of people didn't like that record, I guess. I really liked the songwriting on that record.
I think the deluxe version of California, if all the songs from the deluxe version that didn't make it to the actual album was the actual album, California would have been a good album. But all the songs they picked for California, I thought were just like pretty dumb. But I think everything that didn't make it, that made it to deluxe, was like, oh, that's like really good. Like that's like Matt Skiba writing Matt Skiba songs rather than Matt Skiba writing Blink-182 songs.
Right.
But I like the deluxe a lot better. Yeah. But then 9, I felt like Matt Skiba was like, fuck you guys, I'm gonna write 6 songs. And I think he had like some really good, he had way better moments on 9 than Mark had on 9. Like I think it was a Skiba album for sure.
True. 9 actually came out. Sorry, go ahead, Ty.
I was just gonna say under a different name, I think that album probably would have gotten a bit more of a.
We were just talking about that too. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's a weird Blink album, but it's not a bad like synthy punk album.
Yeah, absolutely. We were just talking about that the other day. Like Robert was like, I think if they just had changed the name, or even if it was like a Plus 44 album or something, like it would have been. Yeah,
actually,
it would have been like a crazy
super
album.
grouped it.
Yeah. They could have even gotten away with. They should have gotten away with. I was talking about this with Nick, my drummer. They could have gotten away with when Skiba joined the band, just calling the band Blink, and
something
like
else.
Just like it's just Blink, not 182, just Blink.
Yeah,
and like so
that actually would have been good.
You still get the idea, but like the 182 isn't there, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's something.
You should have done their marketing.
That's come on,
really good idea.
I never even thought about that, but I was like, fuck, that would have been actually pretty cool, because then it would like. Because I know so many like Blink fans that were like, fuck Skiba, fuck California, fuck 9, and you're like, yeah, but like not really. I mean, like I love Blink no matter what, and that's why I had to like appreciate those albums, because it's like it's cool to still have new Blink, but it was like I do want Tom, and now that we have Tom back, it's like okay, we can all just like love Matt and accept Matt for what he did.
It's almost as if Mark and Travis somehow thought that like their star power was tied up in their name and not like who they are.
Yeah,
like, they could have grabbed Matt Skiba and they could have called themselves anything.
Anything, yeah.
And it would have been more or less. Oh, okay. Actually, I'm sorry. The gears are turning, and actually, no. I think for a lot of people who aren't as invested in music, there actually would be a pretty hard fall off. I'd be interested to see the like Spotify listeners on something. No, but that doesn't work either. Sorry, I'm going through a whole moment now. That doesn't work
I'm picking
either.
Up what you're putting down though.
Plus 44, Angels and Airwaves, or like Boxcar Racer. One of those bands would have to put out an album recently.
Yeah. For
us to understand what the drop off really is.
Yeah.
Because I bet you actually the name Blink really is like the difference of like 30 to 40 million Spotify listeners.
Oh yeah,
actually.
Sure.
So I take it all back. Leave it in, but I take it all back.
Yeah, no, I'm also excited about the new record, so I'm
The
glad.
blank idea was good.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'll stop.
Glad we got to get into that. So yeah, let's get into some of the Bandecdotes that we talk about on some of the show. So do you have some of the wild stories that you have from being in all the projects you have? Any sort of inside jokes that you haven't already told us about, or anything entertaining to retell here on the show?
Oh man, there's so many. One time, Youngest and Only went on a run with a band. I'm not going to say the name, just in case. But we were on a run with this band that they're very good friends with, and we went pool hopping at one of the stops that we had. We were like staying at someone's place, so we went around to different backyards and like we're jumping in people's pools. And while they were like visibly in their living room, just to like try to like run away from them. And then the drummer of one of the bands, we were in a pool, and he tried to take a shit in the pool. And it wouldn't work. I don't know if he had like performance anxiety, but he was sitting there. I just remember him like holding his legs up on the diving board and his arms, and he's like, ugh! And I didn't think in my head that I'm gonna be in the same water as the poop, but I'm like egging him on, like, dude, come on, poo, it'll be funny.
That was his own moral decency physically fighting back against him. Like, we're not.
Legit.
His last semblance of humanity, like a Dark Souls boss, came out in that moment. His exercise.
But yeah, I can't think of anything else that's
no, that's hard to top.
That's hard to top. That's definitely one of like the funner, like out of town, like we're on the road kind of funny stories. But yeah,
have you traveled a lot, like with your music?
With Drives the Common Man, like way more than anything, because like once shows started happening again, it was like becoming more of a thing to be like, oh, you're that dude on like TikTok or whatever. Like, do you want to come fly to like Winnipeg and open for this band? And I was like, yeah, I've never been to Winnipeg before. And recently I went to Newfoundland to play a show, which was super crazy because I just never thought in my head I would ever be in Newfoundland.
Yeah.
And there was like people there that actually like sort of knew who I was. And I was like, oh, this is like so cool. Like so like random. But like, yeah, so I've been able to like go some weird places in the past like 2 years or whatever. And that's been like super fun because I don't like traveling. I like traveling for music. So if I'm playing music, it's cool. But if it's like, I'm not just going to like go on a trip for fun.
Yeah. And are you normally traveling by yourself on these like trips? Cause it's just your solo project, or do you have like a crew with you?
For a while I would just do like, the music was so poppy that I was like, I don't need a drummer. I'll just like get a DJ to like do backtracks or whatever. So for a while I would just like bring a DJ with me, and all he'd really need to bring was a USB stick, which was like unheard of coming from playing in like hardcore and punk bands. You're like, wow, you know what I mean? But and then sometimes I would literally just bring my own USB stick and have like one track of 45 minutes of my backtracks just to like if I couldn't bring a DJ or something. But then just in the past year I've been playing with drummers, so I've been like traveling with drummers, and that's been fun. I like at least having another person on stage, you know, taking the fall with me if we suck. Because if it's just me and I fuck up to backtracks, it's like I can't look at the DJ and be like, bro, like, why did you mess up?
And I think feeding off someone's energy is so helpful.
Oh,
too,
100%.
Right? Like,
yeah.
Even with this channel, like trying to film a video by yourself is like weird.
Oh, I couldn't imagine doing that.
Yeah, it's a strange feeling sitting in a room by yourself. Like having someone to talk to really helps. It's like even on stage, I can imagine like the more up there, the more energy you can feed off of, the better.
Yeah.
And like you said as well, more people can be the fall guy if things go horribly bad. So.
And it's just like the roots of where I come from in music anyways, was always playing in like bands and like punk rock bands, and it's like that's like a whole, like the entire set is feeding off the energy of like your bandmates and like people watching and stuff like that. So it's like it's good to do it like that. It's
a really strange feeling to go to like the Scotiabank Arena and see like 100,000 people watch like one dude and a DJ. Like
or even then it's not even a DJ, it's like a whole light show and it's just one dude, and I'm like, is this band like behind something or something? Like, where is everybody?
And you've always played drums in all those other bands too, right?
No, Jock was the first band I ever played drums for.
Really?
Well, no, I mean, we had a Midwestmount, every single member of Midwestmount, we had a band back in 10th grade called Timbit Flowin', and we never had any songs or anything. And I think I played drums in that band, but that doesn't count. I wouldn't count it. But Jock was like, yeah, the first band, because I've never like owned a drum kit or like consider myself a drummer, but I could play like that fast punk beat like really good for some reason. So when Jock happened, Bob was talking about making a hardcore band, and I was like, "Oh, I can play drums." He's like, "Do you play drums?" And I was like, "Kinda." Like I played three beats like really good, and then I can't really do anything else.
So when you joined Jock, you didn't own drums?
No, I never owned drums. I bought my first cymbals like 6 months ago. Less than 6 months ago, I bought my first cymbals, and ever since, like before then, I was just like Drew. Drew just had drums, and I told him a bunch of times, I was like, if you guys want to like kick me out and get like an actual drummer who has his own stuff, like you could do that. But I don't think they were going to find a drummer with the sauce that I had. I'm just joking. But
no one can play those three beats.
No one can play those three beats. Like I genuinely like, I have a lot of problems technically as a drummer, but I can play really, really, really fast. And I think that's like my claim to fame as a drummer. And I think they just were like, okay, like, you know, that's good enough for you to stick around. And we're all like really good friends anyway. So we never took it too seriously to the point where it's like, come on, bro, pick up your slack and buy drums and stuff. And I was like, okay. So.
To go back just a little bit,
Yeah.
you said you played Newfoundland, which is wild because it's like so remote. What is it like? You said there was like people there who were like excited to see you there. What's like the scene there? What is like the city's like there?
It's hard to tell. Like it's beautiful. They have a very thriving like music scene though, which I was like pretty surprised about. Like, but it's a lot of like I don't know what it's called, like Gaelic, kind of like more so like that Irish folk music, like that very old school, like kind of Irish pub sounding music is like huge out there. And like honestly, when you go there, like I've never been to Europe or anything, but Newfoundland was the closest place to being in like a European town.
It's the closest thing to Europe
like,
too.
Place I've ever been. Exactly, and that's pretty much what it is. So like. It's a whole different like world there, and everyone kind of like talks different too, which is kind of funny. But it's like anywhere else. Like everyone just likes music and is gonna like show up wherever it's at. Because I was like, no one's gonna come to this. Because I was like headlining, and I was like, no one's gonna be here. No one's gonna be here. And it was like pretty packed, and I was like, oh my god. There's like I was going to the other openers, and I was like, yo, there's people here, and they're like, yeah, and I was like. That's crazy. Like what? Like who would have thought? But yeah, it's they have a weird scene out there, but it's like it's cool. You can tell they all really like appreciate when other people come to their city and stuff.
Have you ever?
Because I was in St. John's, Newfoundland.
Yeah. Have you ever, Tyler? Have you ever heard someone with a like strong Newfie accent like talk to you? Like I worked with one, and I actually couldn't put my finger on it at first, and then she mentioned that she lived in Newfoundland. I'm like, that's what you're like. It is strong.
Yeah.
I lived with some people from Newfoundland, but they were crazy. They did meth. They were like every type of phobic. They were
wow.
They were pretty crazy.
Yeah.
But yes, I'm aware of the accent. Yeah.
They talk really fast too.
Oh, I don't know if we'll leave this in, but also so this is back when I lived in Brampton, and they rented me a room, and then like my neighbors, like my next door neighbors, told me a few months later the story of the person who lived in the room before me and how he had just like died of an overdose in there, and the whole vibe of that place is just, and like it was a whole ass.
Do you think funny. He murdered him?
What?
No, I think, but they were like, it was like drugs they were all doing together, right? So it's like,
so you didn't partake in the drugs he was doing.
Yeah. We'll see how much I leave in, but so it was like a 50-year-old woman, and like a dude my age.
That's a party.
At the time. Like, so he's like 27, and they're dating. When I first went in to like, they put on their best behavior when I went in to look at this room to rent it, and like I thought this was like a mom and her son, and like no, they were like the worst couple I've ever met in my life, and her daughter was dating their drug dealer, who was also a like Pitbull breeder.
Of course he was.
Like, obviously he was.
One time I went to his house with them. I don't know why. I was like super drunk. I used to drink a lot, and dude, there were like 20 pit bulls walking around. Everyone's doing fucking like blow, but it's like it ain't blow. Like they're doing some crazy shit. Like it, man. Before shit got real dicey for me before I got sober.
Yeah, no, you've come a long way, Tyler. We're glad that you're here.
We're very glad.
Man, I forgot about the Brampton chapter. I forgot about the people from Newfoundland I lived with.
I'm sorry that we just made you have to relive that moment in your life.
Shout out,
unpacking a lot here.
Oh, I hope you're doing good, buddy.
Do you have any pre-show rituals?
Meth, and I breed pit bulls. I try to breed at least 3 pit bulls before every show. No, per show. I drink a lot of coffee. I really like caffeine, so I try to drink as much coffee or espresso or Red Bulls. Like before I did the North American edition, like the opening ceremony, like which was like on fucking TV and like live and like in an arena and like 10,000 people packed in this arena. Like I remember I got there and I hadn't slept because I caught a flight earlier that morning, and I hate sleeping before flights because I get afraid I'm gonna miss the flight. And they were like, it was to the point where like people are coming up to you like, oh, like what can I get for you? Like we can literally get you anything. And I was like, an espresso. And they brought me like 2 double shots of espresso, and then I had on my ride a Red Bull, and they gave me like an 8-pack of Red Bulls. So before I performed, I probably drank 4 Red Bulls and 2 or 3 double shots of espresso, and I was like, I'm gonna shit my pants on live television, and that's gonna be great. And I was fine. It was like I think I was crashing right before I was about to play, and then all of a sudden it was like, boom, the show happened, and I played my song, and I hopped off stage, and I was like, now what? Like, what do I do now? I'm like shaking, and like it was whatever. But yeah, I try to drink as much caffeine as possible before I play.
Caffeine.
I learned that from the Descendants.
I bought a case of diet root beer, and I didn't realize till I got home that it was non-caffeinated, and I like considered bringing it back. Like I was like,
what am I gonna do with this? Yeah, like even like decaf coffee is such a mystery to me. Like why? Like it's so weird to me. Like if you're gonna drink it, you know. But at the same time, like I don't drink, but I drink now non-alcoholic beers. But I like the taste.
See, I don't do that. So like it's like decaffeinated coffee is a decaffeinated anything really. Like just start putting it in water, put it in the taps, caffeinate the tap water,
please.
Do you remember
the tap water?
Oh my god, Tyler, do you remember the caffeinated buzz water? Do you remember when we were like kids? We used to go to shows,
like Buzz Cola. Or...
It was called Buzz Water, and it was literally caffeinated water. You just brought that back to me. I can't believe you never remember that. The logo was a mosquito. Oh, we'll flash it on screen. You'll see it.
Dude, that sounds sick. I want that. Like right now.
What was the crazy one we drank as a kid too? There was like one with like an insane name. It's like
Jolt,
fucking like C4 or like Jolt. That was it. Yeah, Jolt. Do you know there's an energy drink just called cocaine, and it's 309? Do you know there's an energy drink called cocaine? And the crazy thing about this drink is you snort it directly up your nose. No, but there's an actual energy drink called cocaine, and it's 390 milligrams of caffeine. Like a 300 milliliter
I want it.
can, yeah.
I've tried doing the whole coffee thing before playing a set, because I was like, like I need to get some energy. I don't want to, like, when I've done too many Red Bulls, you kind of feel like gassy because it's carbonated.
Yeah.
So I've done the coffee thing, which by the way, maybe it's because I don't drink a lot of coffee, like at all. Like I don't drink
Good for the
any
throat,
coffee.
too.
I drank one before the show, and I just got like heartburn and gut rot the entire time, and I thought I was just gonna vomit coffee the entire time. So that didn't work out as well.
It helps
for
to be
me.
like very addicted to coffee. Like I drink so much coffee, and I think like when I need to, like when I'm playing a show or something, if I like up the antics a little bit and then start doing espressos or even like a Red Bull, like to really like give you that buzz, I think that's like. But yeah, if I hadn't had coffee in like a couple weeks or a week or even a few days, and I like was trying to pound back a bunch of espressos before a show, I'd probably be sick.
Mug.
You need Tums.
Tums, yeah.
Tums.
Popping pills and
yeah,
drinking espressos.
you mentioned Descendants earlier. Did you know that Milo like made, because he's like a scientist. He
Yeah.
like made his own, like, it's not coffee, but it's something like coffee that gets you like just as jacked. Like you could buy it at their shows.
Oh no, I remember they came out with their own coffee brew one time, and I really wanted that, but no, I didn't hear about that.
It's called like it's the name of the record that not the one that came out recently, the one after before that, like Spaz Caffeine. I can't remember.
Oh
but, like,
yeah, it's a
his,
long,
like, face is like the
yeah. Oh, I can't remember.
His face is like this. Yeah, Spazanic something.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, you could get at their shows, and the only reason why they can only sell at their shows is they get it branded as merch because they can't FDA actually sell, like the FDA has an
Awesome.
because it's like
That is awesome. I saw them in Pennsylvania last summer, and I didn't even go to their merch stand. I just wanted to go home immediately because we were in Pennsylvania. But
large crowds.
Yeah. But yeah, I want that.
What's your go? Yeah. What's your go-to gas station snack?
Oh, Lunchables. Given the time of day,
Lunchables.
Yeah.
Which ones? Because there's a
Okay.
couple different ones.
Yeah,
right?
that's a wide
like
spectrum.
like your default Lunchable with the cheese crackers and like salami.
charcuterie.
Yeah, like basically a charcuterie. Yeah.
Charcuterie.
Milk duds I got recently. I was at a Circle K with my
Nice.
girlfriend, and I hadn't had milk duds in like forever, and I was like, dude, this is like
They
the
go crazy.
best fucking candy. So those Red Bull.
Nice.
You ever get a pizza Lunchable? There?
No,
You back there in the
I couldn't
van
back.
trying to make a pizza
I
Lunchable.
couldn't back the pizza Lunchables. I was always just a fan of the straight up, just like charcuterie. But
It
you
took
know what I mean?
it took me like probably like 4 years of going to school before I saw a kid finally like put one of those pizza Lunchables in the microwave. And I was like,
literally, like.
are you supposed
Yeah,
to do that?
I ate them cold when I was younger too.
I know.
I didn't know that.
And my little sister used to be addicted to the hot dog.
Oh,
ones.
the hot dog ones were honestly kind of fire. I can't even lie.
I never. That's scary. I don't know why that's scary to me, but it's scary.
Yeah, no. Lunchables are
Lunchables.
something else. I haven't had a Lunchable in a minute. I'm gonna go get a Lunchable after this.
No. They have like adult, like they're just Lunchables, but they're $7.
Yeah.
So you said you actually, it's a lot of people that I ask this question don't actually have the pleasure of ever getting a rider in their life, but you had the pleasure of getting a rider for this the event that you the Indigenous what would be your unlimited budget of, like, say you could have anything on this rider, like Rockstar. What is your Rockstar dream rider? What is waiting in the green room for you?
A Hot and Ready from Little Caesars.
Nice.
I freaking love Hot and Ready.
I didn't know where that sentence was going for the first second.
A Hot and Ready woman. No.
Yeah.
Wow, dude.
No.
I appreciate the honesty.
Red Bull is always on my. If I do get a rider, Red Bull's always on it. But in a dream world, a Hot and Ready for sure. Like a Walmart bag of small Hanes t-shirts, like white t-shirts, because they feel so good when they're brand new, and I like to wear them like when I perform. So I feel like if you get a brand new white Walmart Hanes shirt before a show, that'd be like infinitely like the best thing you can have on your rider. And then I don't know. I'm like a man of simple tastes. I don't know. Maybe like
Milk
maybe
duds.
like a jester, like some dude dressed up in like a jester costume that's like gonna tell me jokes when I'm sad.
There you go. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I think that would be it. I feel like he would take a lot of the budget. I feel like they're not cheap. Jesters are not cheap.
It's an unlimited budget.
Oh, it's unlimited.
So you can have more than
Three
one
jesters. Then I think three
Oh my
jesters.
God.
Yeah.
Okay, well, slow down.
I've got triples.
I got triples of
And we're
the
gonna
Jester.
share the Red Bull, and they're gonna get funnier as they have the Red Bull. It's just a perfect mix.
You have like an office cooler, like a water cooler full of Red Bull. That's how like
Yeah.
just dispenses out of a.
Yeah.
I don't know if you could do that with carbonated stuff, but you can in this world.
Okay. Yeah. Perfect. That would be it for me then.
Is there anything aesthetically going on in the room? Is there movies playing? Is there video games? Is there
The Jester.
The jesters
Just the
would be
jesters.
doing a lot of the work unless I tell them to just sit in silence, because I think that would be even funnier to watch. Like
Oh, okay,
three
yeah.
three
That's a
dudes
flex.
dressed as jesters, just like uncomfortable silence.
I know.
I would probably have like music, like a Bluetooth speaker playing like something like coffee tunes, like maybe The Descendants. I like listening to The Descendants before I do anything
Nice.
important, because it just gets me gassed up. Yeah, maybe like Super Smash Bros or something.
Okay, which one? Newest?
I don't know, just
Melee?
one of
What are we
them.
saying?
One of them. I don't even like. When I
And-
said it, I was like, dude, you don't even play Super Smash Bros. But I feel like all my friends do, and in this dream world, like my friends are with me. So
Yeah, that's the
Th-
empath
yeah,
in
they'll-
you. You're thinking about others. in your dream
they'll
roster.
pick the one. They'll pick the game to play,
They know.
or
They
like
know what's
Champions
up.
of Norath. You guys ever play that game? Like on PS2?
Oh
back in the
my
day?
god!
Shit,
You were talking
that was
to-
like me.
Dude, I'm so happy you guys know what I'm talking about.
That's the most niche
Yeah.
game too. That's weird, dude.
Both of us.
Yo, shout out Rob Etherington too.
Dude, so like it's so funny that you and
We might be the only 4 people on Earth.
I legit have like 2 copies of Champions of Norath for the PS2.
That's crazy.
Yeah, there's a second. They came out with a second one too. I think they. Oh,
Mhm.
dude, that game was like Nate and I had like such a like the. We went through the because you and Rob talked about that game so highly.
It was the perfect game.
was
Nate
the
and I were
perfect
like,
game.
"You got to play this game." So we did. It's just like it was like Diablo but better, man. Like, it
Yo,
was so good.
absolutely. It's like it's exactly that, and bro. There's a vibe in Champions of Norath that I haven't even been able to see with like Oblivion and Skyrim are obviously like rad games, but there's something about the vibe that Champions of Norath gave that just like you
perfect.
can't top that. Like that was such a perfect
The
game.
best dungeon crawler.
100%,
dungeon
100%.
I'm so
Man,
glad
that's crazy that you just said that.
you.
Oh my god.
Both of us are such nerds for that game.
I'm so
like-
happy you guys know that.
And our whole audience is confused because no one played Champions.
It's just like it's just like a PS2 game.
The most niche thing that's ever been mentioned on this
Yes.
show. Wow.
That's awesome. Yeah. So just before we leave, I'm gonna get you to tell me if you had. Sorry, before going into this, have you had the chance to see Blank live?
Yeah, I saw them when they came to Toronto in April or May.
Oh, cool.
When
With
was
Turnstile?
that? April? Yeah, Turnstile sounded like trash, though. Like, they
Oh,
did not
shit.
get mixed well at all. Me and my buddy were listening
You're not
to us. We're like,
You're not the first person who said that.
no,
to me,
it was...
actually. That's weird. That's weird.
Yeah, I don't know if it's one of those things where they got to make the headliner, like, obviously sound better. But it was something like me and Bob from Jock, we went together and we're both sitting there like, and I'd never seen Turnstile before, and I love Turnstile, but I was like,
Mm-hmm.
I can't hear anything that the guitars are doing. I just hear drums and the singer. And like,
Weird.
it was weird, but it was like one of those things where you're like, I can't wait for like 20 years from now to be like, oh yeah, I saw Turnstile open for Blink. And it's like, what a weird like thing. It's not
Yeah.
weird, but it is. Like, it's going to be like cool to say that one day. I know for a fact. So it's like,
For sure. For
Yeah.
sure. So
I'm
yeah.
actually going to the up and coming one.
Oh yeah.
oh,
That's right. You got
the
tickets to
one that just got the Blink
Yeah,
and
with
Pierce the
Ale-
Veil?
Yeah, Alexis and Pierce the
Hell
Veil.
yeah.
That's a fight.
Yeah, that is a crazy
It's
lineup.
super
I'm not
sick.
even going to lie.
It's a pretty sick
Yeah.
lineup.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen them before, actually. I didn't even realize I hadn't seen Blink-182 until you, Phil, mentioned it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, right. No, I haven't actually seen them at all. So
Yeah, they're a band I've always
it's
wanted
going
to
to be
see.
sick.
It was a must for me, and especially when like I'm thinking it was like within the like me and Bob got our tickets like in the 10 minutes that they didn't sell out when like they dropped them. Like we were like Johnny on the spot to get the tickets because I was like, I can't miss
my
this.
tickets were reasonable. It really wasn't that
Wow.
bad. I like one of the things that made me buy the tickets when I saw them was this like reflex I had of people being like, they're going to be like $400,
Yeah.
and then I saw them for like 130.
Oh, I
each.
wish.
Like, holy shit!
I fucking wish, dude. I
I
spent
just
like
grabbed them immediately.
$350 on my Blink ticket, and that was like ASAP. I can't imagine what other people were paying. Like it was actually pretty brutal. But I was like, I would have paid like $1,000 to see Blink. So it's like
that was also the
I'm
first
stoked, I'm
tour
stoked.
back with Tom.
Oh yeah, so it's like you have to. Like you're going to the show, so you just gotta like bite the bullet and you know.
So what are 5 Blink songs that you wish to see live, assuming like all the hits and stuff are being played? What are 5 deep cuts that you wish to see Blink play live that maybe they wouldn't?
Easy money, I think about this daily. On the daily, I think about this. Every time I look for you.
Nice.
Roller Coaster. I was gonna say Natives, but I know they have played that before, so it's not that strange. But something. What's the funny one on Dude Ranch? Don't look cash, don't look grab, kick this out, cause he's fat. I'm a jerk, I'm a punk, take a shower, cause it's stuck. What am I can't think of it. That one. Someone will figure it out.
Shampoo?
It's on screen.
It's not Shampoo, is it?
No, I have a shampoo.
I'm so bad with the song titles. So bad.
This is really weird, but off 9, if they played No Heart to Speak Of would be crazy because I think that's like the best song on 9, and I think if Tom sang that instead of Skiba would have been like a crazy heavy song. And I'm gonna say off the new album, it would be cool to see Turpentine live or Turpentine, whatever. That's probably my favorite song.
That's a cool tune, especially like when he at the very end he goes.
He realizes he was pronouncing it wrong. Yeah.
yeah. It's great.
That's
online
awesome. Online songs is another one too.
Ooh, yes, that's a good one. So I guess they don't play that song live, eh? That's a good tune.
Yeah. They don't play any. They play singles. That's why I didn't buy a ticket for the new Blink one. I was like, if I wanted to see them play all their singles again, like I'd buy a ticket, but I don't. So
that's what I want to say.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah, that's what I want to say.
Yeah, you know what you're getting into.
I'm gonna cry during Stay Together.
Oh, we all did. We all did. My sister was texting
that chorus,
me.
What is that? That little emotional shift between the verse and the chorus, I don't know what it is. That song has made me well up every time I've heard it my entire life.
I thought it was cool with my parents' divorce they got divorced when I was like 5, and I thought it was cool with it. I thought I didn't really care about it until I saw them play that song live, and I wanted to text both of them and being like, "Fuck you guys, mom and dad, ruining my life, getting divorced." Yeah, I was like,
"Divorce rules."
Divorce rules.
Stop making me think about it.
But yeah, that was a crazy emotional moment of that night.
Awesome. Well, I wish we could keep talking to you, but we all have lives, and I think my baby is up and awake now, so I got to go tend to him. But before we leave, I want you to plug all the stuff that you're in. Give all the social medias. Where can people find you at? Where's the Linktree app? What's going on?
If you look up Drives the Common Man on pretty much anything, I'm pretty sure you'll only find me. So that's easy. Youngest and Only, my pop punk band, coming out with a deluxe version of our EP we came out with a couple years ago soon. Again, if you look up Youngest and Only, you'll find us. Midwestmount, working on new stuff. Hopefully have something like a single out in the next couple months or so. R.I.P. Jock, I guess. I don't know. Maybe Jock will come back, but who knows? But yeah, that's pretty much it. But thank you, dude. All the love you guys showed, like Midwestmount and Drives the Common Man, like I really appreciate that. Like you guys are like legit the goats. I've been looking forward to this moment for a long time, I swear.
Hell yeah.
Oh, that's sick. No, we loved it. It's such a good release. It's right up our alley.
Appreciate it.
And one hacky question right before I leave, because it just dawned on me. Where's Drive the Common Man come from? Where does that name come from?
Oh, it's a Bad Religion song. Well, it's not
Oh,
like that's not the song name, but there was a song that they had on one of my favorite albums by them, and it was this song called Anxiety, and there was a line in the song that was like, "Anxiety destroys us, but it drives the common man." And I was like 16 years old, and I was like, "That sounds rad. I want to make that my solo project." And then that was it.
sick. Yeah.
Yeah,
Awesome.
that's that.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sticking around.
Yes, thank you, dudes.